5 months ago, I graduated with my bachelor's in media production management and technology. Fast forward to now, I'm less than a month away from moving to a new city to start a videography internship with an NFL team. I wish I could say that this internship fell right into my lap, and from the moment I received my diploma, I knew exactly what I would be doing. This is far from the truth. I applied for about 100 positions, the majority of those being in sports, whether for a team, a media outlet, or a fitness center. It was a very discouraging couple of months. So discouraging that I even made a video about it to help cope with how hopeless this process felt. However, now I'm grateful for that experience because I can confidently share what employers are looking for, how I finally got hired, and what I did in college to set myself up to get an internship with a pro team. I'm going to start with my biggest piece of advice because I think it's the most important and I don't think it's stressed enough by professionals. Your diploma alone will not get you hired. If you aren't able to prove to employers that you have experience shooting and editing, your 4.0 GPA won't get you anywhere. What employers want to see is a demo reel, that you shot for your college, an outlet, which is what I did, or a team. That you have experience that will lend itself to what they're hiring you for, and that you have the skills necessary to complete whatever task they throw at you. Now, I'm not saying employers don't look at your performance at college. I think that classes still show your general competence and your dedication. And I'm not saying your classes don't mean anything. If you have a class that can develop your skills as a videographer, an editor, a director, etc., that's a great way to enhance your portfolio while also earning credit. For example, I took a documentary class my final semester, and my experience as a cinematographer on the documentary was something I was able to highlight during my interview. However, on the flip side of that, what I am saying is that you need to be very proactive in searching for extracurricular activities or even a job. Even though I was very busy my final semester, I think that all the opportunities and experience I had really enhanced my resume, and employers even asked me about some of these experiences. I worked part-time for a production studio, I shot video for our local newspaper, I shot video and gaffed before every home football game for a student pregame show, and I was a videographer for our club hockey team. Then on top of that, I was trying to find time to create my own edits for my portfolio that really showcase the way I like to edit. This sounds like a lot, and honestly it was, but to make it as a videographer, I think that you need to show your dedication and try your best to set yourself apart through your experiences. This leads me to my next point. You need a demo reel. Preferably a website so you can showcase your demo reel alongside other projects themselves, but at the very least, a single video about a minute long where you can showcase your editing skills and all of your best shots. Almost every application asked me to submit a video. Sometimes they even said submit a demo reel. I think that us as videographers or just creatives in general, we should consider this as an elevator pitch, where this is the way that employers will get to know us and we can really showcase our best skills in the smallest amount of time as possible. My demo reel combines all of my best shots from 2024, which, going back to the first point, is really why you need to try to get as many experiences as possible so you can rack up some shots that you would later put in a video like a demo reel. Over the course of a year, through my time with UF Club Hockey and my ability to get credentialed through the Alligator newspaper, I was able to rack up more than enough shots, which I could then put into this video. And sprinkled in there were a couple of freelance opportunities that I had with pro athletes. This demo reel is going to be one of the most important videos you've ever edited, especially because it should only be around 1 minute. If you're someone who's more interested in going into social media or using special effects, you need to make sure that you bring this out through your demo reel and show your special skills. I'd suggest you plan to get this done before you start applying for jobs because I guarantee that your applications will ask for a demo reel. My third piece of advice is to network. I know this is something that everyone in every single industry says, but I very quickly learned the value of knowing the right person. I was once able to shoot for gold medalist Noah Lyles because I knew his videographer, Jack Nelson, and Jack recommended me to him when he needed someone to shoot in my hometown. Freelance opportunities like this can result in some of the best work of your portfolio, and it's really important that you put it out there for people to see. The NFL team I'm shooting for asked me about my kind of longer documentary style piece for Talitha Diggs, a pro track athlete, and I was able to talk extensively about my experience shooting and editing the piece for her. Since I will be working around pro football players, my employer really liked that I already had experience shooting with professional athletes. Forming connections with athletes and other creatives help you be top of mind when they need someone, and it gives you invaluable opportunities to grow your portfolio and show you can work with athletes. Next, you need to go out of your way to develop your shooting and editing skills. Everything I know about operating a camera, pre-production, interviewing, editing in DaVinci Resolve or Premiere Pro is 90% self-taught. And by self-taught, I mean going onto YouTube or actively learning through trial and error. I did learn some things from my college classes, like basic 3-point lighting. But I think I learned a lot more from my time at Sky Palm Studios, the production studio I worked for last semester, because I was able to learn not only from professionals, but put all these concepts into practice in real-world situations. Which, coming back to my main point, is why you really need to seek opportunities outside of classes. But when I was starting out, before I got involved in all the things I mentioned before, I first learned how to work my camera, because the last thing I wanted to do was show up to a gig or a game and have no clue what I was doing. The best thing about picking up a camera today is that you can go on YouTube and look at a free tutorial of whatever it is you want to know. I know it can be overwhelming to learn something new, but in this industry, competence goes a long way. For example, my documentary work involved a lot of interviews, and I do use DJI mics, so I went onto YouTube and made sure I knew everything about how to use them and how to put a lav mic correctly on a subject. Developing your skills doesn't always have to be as boring as looking up tutorials. If you love watching movies or shows that have great cinematography, this is a great way to study how they were shot and edited, and maybe put some of that into practice in your own work. Now that I'm at a point where I feel confident in my skills, I prefer to watch short documentaries on YouTube and see what I can learn from them. Regardless of how you learn, it's crucial that you know basic things before your first gig. And then slowly over time, based on what you want to be involved with, you can develop your skills further. My final piece of advice is to have a skill that will make you stand apart from other people. This doesn't just apply to videography or editing, I think this applies to all creative fields. My special skill is that I'm a certified drone pilot, and I made sure to include shots in my reel that really highlighted this to employers. Becoming a drone pilot was another thing I had to make time for. I had to study for the test, block out a morning to take the test, and then spend time learning how to operate a drone. Another skill of mine is that I'm more of a documentarian as opposed to a social media editor. This is huge for the position I just got hired for, because I'll be helping them create long-form videos for their YouTube channel. Just make sure that when you pick a skill, it's something that you actually enjoy doing, because you'll have to spend a lot of time learning it and talking about it when employers ask you. Creative fields require a lot of behind-the-scenes work. There are countless unseen hours that go into learning, shooting, and editing. But if you put in the effort, you'll get the job that you want. Sometimes it will feel like you're sacrificing your college experience. But hey, that's what I did, and I don't think it's any accident that this pro football team was impressed with my resume and my portfolio and decided to hire me. If you made it to this point, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about extracurricular involvement or freelancing, please drop a comment so I or the rest of this community can help you out.